Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. So before I introduce myself as the moderator of today's event, I would like to tell you that this event is provided with the simultaneous interpretation. So those who wish to listen to the English translation, at the bottom bar of the screen, you can see an interpretation button, which is the globe button. And you can choose the English language and also mute the original audio. Or you can choose Georgian if you wish to. Okay, let's begin with today's event. I would like to welcome everyone. My name is Helena Zurabashvili. I'm the junior analyst at the GIP. I would like to give you the information about the purpose of today's meeting. This is the introductory meeting about the GEONext 2022 participants. They will be meeting with mentors, co-mentors. They will be attending interesting speeches of very important speakers. So briefly about the purpose. GEONext 2021, that was the officially entitled Partnership for Youth Engagement, is implemented by GIP and the German organization Police 180. It was a cooperation event, and the goal is to support local groups of initiatives, their participation into different projects that support development of the country in 4 different directions: digitalization, inclusion, regional economic development, and climate change. So today, at today's event, we have 8 groups of initiative. Legs. We selected them in terms of a high competition. I would like to also congratulate all of them for the victory. So these groups will be meeting with their mentors from different companies, and those will be sharing their knowledge and experience to the groups. They will also be meeting with the participants of the previous project, and also commenters from German organization will be attending. Now I would like to give the floor to Ms. Renate Skardzuite-Keselidze. She's the Deputy Director of GIP. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madlobateo. I will use the luxury of interpretation and speak in English today. Welcome everyone to the kickoff meeting of the GEONext 2022. On behalf of Georgian Institute of Politics, I'd like to again congratulate you with the success in the competition. And for those who may not know this, the Georgian Institute of Politics is a think tank based in Tbilisi. Our work focuses on analysis, policy research, and civic education programs to advance Georgia's democratization, European integration, and Euro-Atlantic integration agendas. And as a think tank, the main purpose of our organization is to analyze and better understand the challenges that we are facing, and provide recommendations, suggestions, right, how to improve on those challenges. What could be done? However, we were asked once a very good question that made us think a little bit more and a little bit further. Just, well, great that you know now all these challenges. What can you do about it? And there's very little that we can do, you know, sitting in our office in Tbilisi. However, by working and expanding our networks outside of Tbilisi and connecting with different civic activists, other organizations, bringing together, serving as a platform, you know, for media organizations and youth, students, academia, we have managed to do a little bit more. And this project is just a very good example of it. You, with your initiatives, with your ideas, I hope we'll be able to, first of all, identify what are those challenges in the fields of the 4 topics that were chosen for this year, but also to make your communities, to make your regions, your organizations, a little bit better after this year, and to bring something positive for your peers and inspire others as well in this very challenging context. The last period has been difficult for all of us, right? But we have hope in you, and at the same time we will be happy to collaborate with you and to share our experience in implementing projects, in creating programs that deliver some tangible results, but also connect later to the other stakeholders, other partners back here in Tbilisi. And because of this, after we will start with the projects that will be implemented in different parts of Georgia. There are 8 initiative groups that have received small grants in the framework of the project. And in the end, we look forward to bringing all of you back to Tbilisi for conference to share your results. Another aspect of this project is collaborating with business organizations and international organizations. That hasn't been done very much. We are not working with businesses on a daily basis, definitely not. But we think it is very important to acknowledge the very fact that we are part of one society and that we are all affected by the challenges and the areas of, from sustainable development to environmental change, climate change, and so on. And we would like to welcome our mentors to this project as well. And we'll welcome their contribution in searching for solutions together. So thank you very much for this collaboration. I really look forward to working together with you. And now, without further ado, I'll probably give word to our partner from Germany, the Polis 180, who has been our long-standing partner for the last 4 years or more, probably. So thank you and welcome once again.
Thank you, Tiona. If it's okay, I will just take over right away. I hope there's no delay. Thank you very much for your kind words, Renata, and I can copy all of them and definitely reflect them back at you. We've had an amazing cooperation for the past years, and we look forward to continuing it. Just to come back to something that you said, we have hope in you. That's absolutely true. And what is more, also the German Foreign Office, the German government, who is funding this project, has hope in you. So during our first project, GEONext 2020, we had a conference also in Tbilisi, where the representative of the German embassy, who unfortunately cannot be here today, said, so Germany and Georgia, they have a partnership, but not everything can be solved on the government level, right? So a lot of things have to be solved on the under government level, so on the civil society level in the society. And this is also why we have taken yet another step, as Renata has mentioned, and engaged different stakeholders from civil society. But this just as something that I wanted to say with regards to the kind words of introduction by Renata. I haven't actually introduced myself. My name is Frauke Sievers. And together with my colleague Anna Knatze, who will speak after me, I represent Polis 180. I apologize for the background noise. I'm actually in Austria for a seminar right now, but I'm trying to keep the noise down behind me. I wanted to say a couple of words about Polis 180, our organization, just to give you an idea why we might be an interesting partner for you as well in this project and what our goals are as an organization. So we are a grassroots think tank as well as a youth organization in Germany. Our base is in Berlin, but we operate all over Germany. And it was originally created by young people for young people who wanted to get active in German foreign politics. When the founders started in 2015, they were only a small group of students who were very frustrated because politicians did not listen to their ideas, maybe something you feel familiar with. And this is why they decided to find a way to make them listen. And they invested hundreds of hours of very hard work, of entrepreneurial spirit, of ideas. And of course, they had a lot of help from partners and supporters, from civil society, but also from the private sector. And this is how they managed to found Polis 180. And now we have this platform for young people where we get together and we develop new visions for German foreign and European politics. And today, so 7 years later, we are more than 600 members who, as I said, work all over Germany and also internationally. We have at the moment 13 different thematic fields that we work in. We write papers such as policy briefs, we organize events, and we discuss the results and ideas with politicians and citizens. And all members, that's very important. At this point, all members of Polis are volunteers and nobody is the boss. So everyone can take responsibility and make their ideas a reality. And at the same time, we are not a one-man team, we are a community and we can always count on the support from the others in the community. And in addition, we have also started very early on to develop projects in cooperation with both national and international partners to share our experiences, to learn from each other, and to support youth initiatives everywhere in the world. And actually, this is how I also came to know Renata, for example, became familiar with GIP, because I was a participant of one of the first cooperation projects between GIP and Polis 180, which was called GEO Values in 2018. So GEONext actually is already the fifth project that we are doing with the Georgian partner, because we believe that in order to move Georgia forward, ideas and visions of diverse youth from all regions of the country need to be heard in policy making. And the same, of course, true for Germany and for any other country. And in turn, what is very important for me to emphasize here is that your experiences and ideas can, of course, also help us to make Polis 180 better and our voice stronger in the policy field. And this is why I am also very happy that this year we have our co-mentors on board who will share their experiences with you, but will also take your experiences back to Polis 180 and will discuss it with our volunteers and will help to disperse them among our organization. Without further ado, I would like to thank you very much for your engagement, want to congratulate you, want to thank all of the mentors, the co-mentors, our funding partners, as well as Common Purpose, who has been supporting us. And I really look forward to seeing your visions come true in this project, and I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you very soon in TBC. Thank you very much, and I think I hand over to Anna right now.
Thank you, Frauke. Everybody can hear me, I guess. I would like to welcome. Yeah, I can hear, at least I can hear. Yes. So I would like to welcome everyone. It's great that we can all attend in full composition and officially open GEONext 2022. My name is Anna. I also represent German party, Polis 180, although with my heart and my soul and my bones and blood, I represent Georgia. So it's a dual pleasure of being here, of participating, and it's a great opportunity. Very briefly, I would like to give you the context. The project is a new one, but actually it's a continuation of GEONext project series, which had been implemented in the course of last 2 years, together with GIP and with financial support from the German government. The key idea, the goal, the purpose, the highlight is young people in Georgia, young people living in Georgia, supporting the young people in Georgia so that they can actively participate and engage. It also, the idea is to let them make themselves more clear about their ideas they have, the initiatives they want to implement based on their local needs. So it all started back in 2020. It was GEONext. And that was the first time that we developed a so-called youth manifesto. More than 150 different young people from different regions participated in drafting, and we were holding different youth summits for that. So what is behind the youth manifesto? It is a document. It is it addresses 9 obstacles that prevent young people to actively engage in policy making. And it also offers solutions. So we were actively working at the pre-election period, because at that time, the document was presented to different political parties that were running for the office in Georgia. I would also like to mention one success story about our project. Actually, one of our political parties took very good note of the challenges and problems that were mentioned in the manifesto, and they integrated into their political program. Election program, and manifesto was used as the basis for our future work. We started publishing. We announced contests. We started with different projects. We funded 10 different projects from different regions. So on the one hand, it was to assist young people in political participation and different workshops, etc. And on the other hand, it was about cooperation with local municipalities. Actually, the last year, it was one of our top priorities because we could really see the need for that during the local elections. That was held last year. So GEONext Series 3, it is a pilot project actually, because we really want to engage a private sector in the process, because we believe that cooperation with the businesses, with private sector, could really give a good push to overall development of the country. So that's the process we're launching together with the winner projects, with the mentors and co-mentors. We've selected 8 projects, and the mentors will be representatives from private sectors. And they will be providing the knowledge and expertise in those thematic areas. And there'll be co-mentors from youth organizations. So that was all I wanted to tell you as, about the context. Once again, I would like to thank each and every young person that is engaged or has been engaged into our project for being active. I would like to wish you good luck, success, and I do hope that this cooperation will be a very successful and productive one. And I would like to give big thanks to the representatives of business sector for your precious time. Despite of your busy schedule, you agreed to participate and provide mentorship to our young people. One more thanks to the ambassador of Georgia to Germany, to Mr. Levan Izoria, for showing support to this project from the very beginning. And now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Ambassador so that he can address the participants. Thank you, Anna. I would like to welcome everyone. It is a great job that you are serving. And last year, within the scope of cooperation between ourselves and you, we had the chance to hold meeting with the previous participants. We also heard their stories, and we were really excited and amazed because we could see that our regions have excellent young people who can clearly see the challenges and problems, and more than that, they can come up with great solutions, and they can also participate and work with different political parties and help them solve the problems. Problems of also, youth being skeptical towards policy and policy making. Political life is our daily life, and democracy cannot be built, cannot grow without a political engagement and activism, and it concerns everyone, every single citizen, and of course, priority goes to young people, because if you have more people, more young people engaged in politics, in political life, it makes the whole thing younger, and for the sake of the energy and vitality, we need active participation of young people. I'm so happy that the initiative continues. Of course, the Georgian embassy stands ready to support when in whatever we can. We could also host them when they come to Berlin for the visit. We stand ready to participate. So I'm not just talking about this passive role of listeners. We are ready to actively participate. I would also like to take the opportunity and express my gratitude to the Foreign Ministry of Germany as the funding partner. As far as I know, this is the funding from the Foreign Ministry of Germany that these projects are being implemented in the course of last 2 years. And also want to mention Anna's role, very active role and participation. And I would like to underline the active cooperation and participation from Felisa 180 and Georgian Institute of Politics. So it was thanks to these two organizations that the German government showed continuous interest in the project. And it's not just the continuation of whatever was happening in past, but there are some new aspects into it, and it's a great idea that you will have a private sector representatives engaged, also different German private funds and private businesses will be engaged, so that it enhances cooperation between private and public sector. And it will be a great opportunity to learn from private sector, to share knowledge and experience, because it really is important in order to improve the culture of cooperation between public and private sector, and I absolutely welcome that idea. Also, those 4 different areas that are very urgent and they're very important. So the climate change, economic development, digitalization. So these are the subject matters, these are the areas that are on top of the agenda for Georgia, for Georgia's Euro integration. So this is not something taken from the thin air. It is very contextual. It is very important for Georgia's future integration, especially in these very hard times. And connectivity and all channels and forms of connection with Europe are of supreme importance, especially during this very hard period. So these projects will really do a great job in improving the connectivity and now bringing Georgia closer to Europe. And also in consideration of the steps that Georgia took, I mean, the submission of the application and filling out the questionnaire in order to get the candidacy status. So all of the efforts will contribute to our supreme goal. all of the small and big steps will contribute to that. So, and also for the long-term perspective, I would of course wish for a broader engagement. So we can think about it, and we can maybe plan for engagement and participation of young people from Abkhazia, from Ossetian region, so breakaway regions of Georgia. So in order to build some peace building activities, so those ideas would also be great, maybe. German counterparts have excellent experience in this regard. They also have legitimacy, they have knowledge, despite of all the challenges that we have in our region. Those future steps would be a peace response to all of that. So through development, through active engagement, through improving democracy, we seek our future as the joint future for all of our nations. So, and you could be a good leader in all of these endeavors. So I would like to once again thank the Police 180, also the Georgian Institute of Politics for being active, and in future our embassy stands ready to host you, and we are ready to celebrate success stories, and we are ready to plan our future steps. So once again, I want to thank you for inviting me. So wish you success and good luck. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for very interesting words, and thank you for active cooperation and for your interest into our project. We appreciate and we value your participation. And I would like to give big thanks to Renata, Frauke, and Anna, who gave us the context and a lot of details about the project and implementing partners. I would like to tell you that we also have members from the previous project. It was GeoYouth 2021 participants are attending. This year the name had changed, but now members of the previous project will share their stories, the problems they faced, the challenges they had to overcome. So we have Tamar Homasurice and Ronald Bagaturia, and I would like to invite them to share their experience, and I'm sure that our new participant will find it very useful and very interesting. Ronald, Tamar, whoever is ready. Thank you. I hope you can hear me. Yes, we do. I would like to welcome everyone, and I'm so happy that I'm a participant of this meeting. She's saying that she has some problems with connectivity. Okay, I would like to thank GIP and also members from Police 180 for the opportunity that was given to us. I represent Raja Youth Assembly. I'm the head of the assembly. We had a project in Oni municipality, and the goal was to make local young people more active in order for them to actively participate in the local decision-making process. In our municipality, we had a youth advisory council under the mayor's office. So with the goodwill of the mayor and with our participation, we created the council. And so we wanted to enhance the capacity of the council so that this council just is not just on the paper and without any functions. So we started with capacity buildings. We gave them many different trainings about the civic engagement tools, and I believe that the biggest success of the project is that this council, up to this very day, remains one of the most active. I can say that it is the most active, but okay, let's say it's one of the most active councils that is really advising and consulting with the mayor. At this point, our council has 2 pending projects, and we're implementing it together with the mayor's office. So the council has the consultation functions, and we also advocate for the needs of the young people, local young people. On the basis of the study that was conducted on the needs assessment study, we identified the need to have some projects in the area of sports and also movies. So we drafted 2 projects for young people in our municipality. Those 2 projects were approved by the mayor's office, and now they're being implemented. Also, last year in Oni municipality, with active participation of the council, we lost her. I cannot hear her. So we don't have the middle part, and she continues that we started during GeoYouth 2021, and also our council participated in civic budgeting process. It was again during 2021 GeoYouth project. So we submitted 14 different ideas into that program, and 1 made it to the finish line. So also very recently we had a youth forum in Oni. Our council was active participant. Also we shared our experience with the Dusheti Youth Council. They have been just established, and they visited us to learn from us and to share experience. And on June 18, there's going to be a youth forum held in Subdidin, Samegrelo region, and we will be making our presentation there. Also, I'm a member now. Currently, I'm the member of the council. So, and today and I'm also the advisor to the mayor on civic matters in Oni. And so with our active participation and engagement, we try to promote youth-related issues, which is quite obvious already in the municipality. And I want to thank you all for the assistance and for the help that was given on the right time. Thank you, Tamar. We are very happy that you are able to achieve the goals that you planned to achieve. Now I would like to invite all the initiative groups to select one of the leaders that will give us an overview. I mean, first you need to mention the area that you will be participating, what it is that the project is covering, and when are you implementing it. So, and please make those presentations very brief so that we fit into the time. Please. May I? We can see David was trying to speak, but then we lost him, I guess. So here, so maybe from an inclusion topic, we have 2 groups in under the title inclusion.
Can I jump in just for 1 second? I'm sorry, Theo. Since we are going a little bit over time, and we would like to give space for each of you to present yourself, to have more discussion, to also meet your mentors, to meet your future partners as well. In today's agenda, we have a presentation and keynote speech, and then breakout rooms as well. And if I may suggest a slight change, if you don't mind, that perhaps we could present all the groups now, and just, you know, I'd like to mention who you are. Maybe you could raise your hands or somehow put some reactions here when you hear your group name, so that we know who you are. And then we could perhaps give the word to our keynote speaker. and then have a more deeper introductions of the groups in the breakout rooms. If this would work, if nobody is against that. So of course, I cannot present it in very much detail, everything that you had in mind, all your ideas. But just to give a kind of very overall picture, because I think it's all of us are quite interested, right, to see, okay, who is here and what is going to happen. We have 4 topics: the climate change and sustainability topic. We have a group from Kazbegim, Spetamtianeti. The project is called Youth Against Climate Change. If you could raise your hands. Yes. And
so I am the representative of Kazbegim group.
We really want to hear all of you, but I will just read out all of you and introduce you to your mentors. So when you hear the name of your group, just raise your hands so that we know that you are here. And then you will meet with your mentors in the breakout rooms, and then we will ask you to present yourself. Is it okay? Thank you. So the Salome and her group, Youth Against Climate Change. This group is going to form an initiative group to conduct trainings and local information campaigns on environmental issues, hold essay competitions, write blogs, hold youth conference on climate change, challenges and solutions. And we will be very happy to hear about you a lot in the breakout rooms. And the second group in this category is Act for Climate, a group from Pankisi, Kaheti, who would like to focus on awareness raising on the waste management. Can we see who you are? Can you raise your hands? There is this little reactions button underneath that you can check. And these groups will, yes, right. And these groups will be mentored, will be matched by Polybim company. And we have Farid Askarov here, who will be able to also meet with them in the breakout rooms very soon. Great. The next category is inclusion. And here we have 2 projects, Youth for Changes in Regions, that the group is based in Tbilisi, but they do want to connect Tbilisi and regions and develop social skills in people with people with disabilities as well as non-disabled people, so to bring together different groups of youth and have peer-to-peer learning experience by creating a friendship club. So hello to Tbilisi group. And then we also have public spaces accessibility for people with disability from Senaki, Samegrelo Zemosvaneti region. So you can see that these topics are overlapping a little bit, and I'm sure you'll be able to share as well your approaches, your strategies, and see what you can do together or apart during your projects. The inclusion topic will be supported by Caritas. Thank you also very much for your involvement, and we will be able to all meet in the breakout rooms again. Then we have regional economic development And here the groups from Kobuleti Ajara, Camp of the Youth Ideas. It's easy probably to guess what this will be about. They will be bringing young people living in Ajara together to study entrepreneurship and try to put this into practice. And the second group that will be included here is from Baghdati, Mereti, utilization of Baghdati and Dusheti municipalities' economic potential. And so this project will be quite localized for increasing the visibility of this municipality and including young people in economic development of this region. And we have GIZ supporting these two groups. And I also just got a message that Women Engage for a Common Future will also be supporting inclusion-related projects. Thank you very much. We have been receiving the confirmations from our mentors throughout the last weeks, and we are very excited about this partnership. And the final grouping is digitalization related projects. That group based in Tbilisi, and their project is called Georgian Language Studying Digitalization for the Integration of the Ethnic Minorities. And this group would like to digitize Georgian language teacher to ethnic minorities. They would like to improve an already existing language learning app, Anidabani, and tailor it better for the needs of ethnic minorities. I wish all the success. And the last but not least, we have a group from Zageri, Business Accelerator. So this group also is working more on economic development, but we grouped you here as well so that you could benefit from the support of both topics and the mentors here. And we have Swift and 8,000 Vintages supporting these two groups. Thank you very much. And hello. Thanks a lot. So yeah, I hope you will forgive me for such a swift summary, because otherwise I think we could really spend several hours talking about our ideas, honing it and improving it and building on more. But we'd like to give space, as I said, for all of you for more discussion. And I will finish my detour here and give the word back to Theo and then to Andy.
Now I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Andy Coxall.
Hello.
So Andy Coxall, who is the executive officer in the organization Common Goal. It is Britain-based organization that aims to develop leadership potential globally. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tiona, and thank you everyone for your time and for the invitation to join you today. It's been great to hear more detail about the projects that you have, and I will be quick because I know you have a lot to talk about, so I don't want to take up too much time talking about us and our work, but thank you so much for the opportunity to join you. I'm just going to share my screen, and so hopefully this will work. Excellent, there we go. and use this just to run through very quickly a bit about our work. So as Tiona said, my name's Andy Coxall. I'm Chief Executive of Common Purpose Student Experiences. Basically means I lead our work with young people and university students globally, and I'll explain a bit more about what that means. But I've been invited here to share a bit about our organisation, but more about our approach to leadership in terms of cross-boundary leadership, and how do you bring people together from across boundaries and across sectors to work together and collaborate to lead change. So I want to talk much more to that, and hopefully this presentation will help. So background to us, just so you know who we are and where we're coming from. So we are a global leadership development organisation. We're a not-for-profit. We started over 30 years ago in the UK, but we now operate globally. And we have had over 100,000 people go through our programs in that time. I'll just quickly put myself on because I realize that I'm hiding myself, so you can't actually see my face as I talk, which is a bit odd. So yes, so over 100,000 people have been through our programs in the last 30 years, and that's about 8,000 every year. And we look at leadership as a lifelong journey. So we start with young people and university students, then we move to people in their careers, so emerging leaders moving into leadership positions, and senior leaders very much at the top of their career. And we run in-person programs and online programs across the world. Our mission as an organization is that we believe that we live in a world full of complex problems, and these complex problems cross boundaries of all kind. But too often, leaders are developed to operate within boundaries, within silos, within their roles, rather than being able to operate across them. So we see issues that cross geographies, generations, sectors, specializations, beliefs, and backgrounds. And we feel that leaders need the ability to be able to do that. And hearing just now about the topics you're addressing, they're exactly the same. So when you think of climate, when you think of inclusion, when you think about disability, these are really complex problems that cross boundaries of all kind. And not one leader or one organization can solve the problems on their own. They have to work with other people. They have to work across boundaries. They have to work across sectors and find ways of collaborating and building coalitions and networks to be able to achieve change on those issues. So we as an organization, we're focused on developing leaders who can cross boundary at work and in society, so in their organizations and in their communities. And we do that working with over 1,000 organizations and educational institutions across the world every year, helping them to develop in their people the capabilities needed to be able to affect change and operate across boundaries in that way. Now, what do we do with that? So what I think is really interesting about the work you're doing while you're here over these few weeks is that actually the work you're doing is very aligned to what we do as an organization and have been for the last 30 years, which is about how do you bring together diverse groups of people to tackle complex issues and find ways of collaborating and supporting each other when you come from very different backgrounds and different starting points and maybe have different agendas and motivations. But ultimately, how can you bring people together to be able to affect change in their communities and in their country? So I think there's a lot of alignment between what you're looking to do and what we do, and hopefully this is the start of a conversation between us. But I've been asked to share about how we do that and how we've done that and what some of the models of best practice might be. And given that you are an intergenerational group, that you are a cross-sector group, I wanted to share a particular example of work we've done on this theme of open source leadership. So a few years ago, we wanted to know what young people thought about leadership in today's world and leaders in today's world. And then specifically, we wanted them to help us to understand what kind of leadership they felt was required in today's VUCA world. So one that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So we worked with 1,000 young people across the world. You can't see my question here, to ask them, what kind of leadership do you as a generation want to stand for? What kind of leaders do you commit to being? And what kind of leadership is needed in today's world? So we pulled together 1,000 young people from across the world. We did research with them through surveys, focus groups, interviews to really understand their experiences and their aspirations. We then convened a steering committee of young people from across the world. There's about 20 to 25 of them from countries everywhere who were going to then take the research and look at, okay, if this is what 1,000 young people across the world feel about leadership, what are the key themes that are coming through that? And then really importantly, as part of the intergenerational and cross-sector collaboration, we also convened an advisory group of senior leaders, which was chaired by Riya Shah, who's partner for global talent and learning at EY, to support the steering committee to be able to translate the research that was done into something practical and actionable. And so we had people like the Speaker of the Bangladeshi Parliament, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Zambia, Singapore's High Commissioner to the UK, a diverse range of leaders. But really importantly, and again, very similarly to the work you're doing, they weren't there to tell the young people what leadership is. They weren't there to tell them how to lead. They were there to coach, to support, to mentor, and guide them as they started to think about how can we take this research and turn it into something practical, in the same way that the process you're going through now. And so what they said was, we want you as young people to come up with a leadership model based upon this research that you feel you as a generation want to take out and actually make happen in this world. So what we ended up with was open source leadership. And so the young people involved, working with the steering committee of senior leaders, came up with 5 leadership capabilities that they felt were critical for success in today's world and to be able to affect change and work with diverse groups to do that. Awake, interconnected, trustworthy, quick, and accessible. So why did they come up with that? So awake. So from the research, 78% of the 1,000 young people that we researched and surveyed said that they experience intolerance and discrimination. So they as a generation were committed to counterbalancing and challenging intolerance and discrimination so that they as a generation could contribute and engage fully and freely. Interconnected. They said that even though we've never been more connected than we've ever been in our history, too often they saw leaders only operating in their own self-interest, for their own agenda, for their own success, rather than working with others and supporting others. So they said as an interconnected generation that they would work to lift each other up and make each other successful. Trustworthy. So they also said that they saw a real crisis in trust in leaders and in leadership, and a massive increase in mistrust. And so they said as a generation that they wanted to rebuild trust in leadership by being trustworthy themselves. Quick. So they felt that the world and leaders in the world have been too slow to adapt to technological change, have been too slow to utilize technology. And so they said that they as a generation wanted to be quick to adapt to and leverage and utilize technology to lead it rather than be led by it. And accessible. So they said as young people, they too often felt like they were told not to question or challenge their elders. And they felt that they were constantly being told that they couldn't share their ideas. And they felt that stunting ideas and progress was something that was so counterproductive as we try to solve these complex problems in the world. And so as a generation, they said, we will be accessible to everyone from all backgrounds all of the time to be able to work together. So having done this, I guess the question is, so what? What came of that? So we took this research, we took this leadership model and worked with the steering committee and with the steering committee of young people and the advisory group of senior leaders to create an online asynchronous course. So on-demand access to an online course on open source leadership designed to help young people across the world to be able to develop these 5 capabilities, to be able to connect with their peers and network, and look at how they can go out and affect change in their communities, whatever change it is that they wanted to achieve. And again, bringing this cross-sector collaboration theme through with the support of governments and financial institutions, banks, and educational institutions like universities who provided sponsorship for this course. Since it started, we've had over 25,000 young people across the world go through and complete this course, develop these leadership capabilities, connect with their peers, find new networks and new ways of leading change and going out into the world to actually make a difference on the issues that matter to them. So thinking, given the work that you're doing and what you're here to do, and was asked to think about sort of, a question to pose you, I wanted to to think about, well, what could this mean for you, your teams, your projects, the communities you're looking to serve, and how could some of this open source leadership, research and methodology support you? So I've come up with 5 questions that I wanted to pose of you. Not all of them will necessarily be relevant, but I just wanted to pose them with you based upon this model. So awake. So how can you listen carefully to each other and be aware of and challenge prejudice when it occurs? Trustworthy. How can you know and share what your values and goals are together in your teams, but also within the communities you're serving, and make sure you turn words into action? Quick. How can you move quickly together to lead the change? You don't have much time. Your process is quite short. So how are you going to move quickly to make sure you get to that point of leading change? Accessible. How do you make sure you don't silence good ideas and listen within your group? How do you make sure that everyone has a voice? And how do you make sure that the voice of the communities that you're serving are heard and are present in the work that you're doing? And how do you make sure you're accessible to each other in your teams and more broadly? And then interconnected. How can you be generous with your networks and your knowledge and your connections to create new opportunities for each other? How do you give freely to support each other to be able to effect the change that you're looking to on these projects? So as I say, I don't think, I'm sure not all of these will be relevant to you or your teams, but I hope in some way they spark some thoughts and might help you as you're working in your teams and going through this process to think about how you make sure you're awake, trustworthy, quick, accessible, and interconnected in everything you do. And yeah, I wish you very best of luck with your projects. But that's all I wanted to share. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity to come and join you today. And I'll put these in the chat as well, just in case they are of use.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for a very interesting presentation. Now I would like to tell you that you will be now taken out into a breakout rooms. There will be 4 breakout rooms. Each breakout room will be led by the thematic group coordinators. So Salome Candelaki, she's the project manager from GIP and also the senior policy analyst. And she'll be in charge of, and she'll be coordinating climate change thematic group. Nino Samharadze from the GIP, she will be moderating and coordinating regional development. Shotak Akaut, also the junior analyst from JB, he will be in charge of digitalization, and myself, I will coordinating inclusion thematic group. So I guess we now need to move to the breakout rooms. So far, we don't see those on the screen. Also, the mentors and co-mentors and all the attendants, representatives of Police 180, GIP. So you feel free to attend to whichever room you wish to attend. Unfortunately, due to lack of time, we were not able to go into every small detail of all the projects and all the ideas, but within the breakout rooms, we will have the chance to learn more about one another and introduce ourselves. So now you should be able to join the whichever room you wish to join.